Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Koi, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We're looking at the new Mandalorian trailer that just dropped for Season 3. Thanks so much for joining us. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. By the by, we've got some Mandalorian reactions on this channel. If you want to check it out, links in the description below and buttons at the end of the video. Here we go.
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
The music.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost. Going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
Yes!
This is the way.
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Kid. This is the way.
Oh, damn. What we wanted the entire time we were watching Boba Fett.
Pretty much, right? It's like they went, oh, the fans love Grogu and they love the relationship between Grogu and Din Djarin. Let's do more of that. Yes, please.
Yeah.
They're the daddy and son duo that I always wanted.
Here we go, and then another adventure of Pedro Pascal shepherding a young one
on their
journey.
Right? He's like the ultimate Hollywood dad right now.
That's fine.
Just like taking in orphans, showing them the way.
I love that shot when they're all dropping out of the ship.
Yeah.
And like they're just skydiving. It just looks cool. Like the whole thing looks cool. I don't exactly know what the story is other than a continuation of their journey together.
Well, it's also showing us more about the Mandalorians, right? Because he's going and he wants to redeem himself
for taking off his helmet.
Yeah, and help his people, right? Yeah. And so that's something that I feel we could do with having more of an exploration of like their people and their culture. And we're seeing a lot of like cool creatures and stuff along the way.
Right. Well, I mean, him having to like make up and redeem for taking off his helmet, that's as much as I got out of this as far as story goes. But I guess it's like, it's one of those things where you probably didn't even need the ad necessarily and people would watch it anyway.
I just need the date.
You just exactly.
Yeah.
When is it dropping?
Just the logo plus the date and then maybe a little bit of Mando and Baby Yoda.
Yes.
Done.
They did not introduce any new creatures in this trailer, but they brought back an old one from Return of the Jedi. At least that's where I feel like I saw that creature was in Return of the Jedi. The little guy. You know, Disney is, especially with Star Wars, is known for bringing in these like new creatures that are like super cute and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that they can sell more toys. It doesn't seem like that was quite as emphasized here.
Well, I couldn't help but think about Ryan George and his pitch meeting on The Mandalorian and like, oh yes, you know, Baby Yoda is basically there for us to buy merch. Hello. And
I can't even see your shirt. You got to show it. Okay.
For them to make money. I also wore my Mandalorian eyeshadow palette in preparation for this. That's how excited I was. But, you know, I'm seeing that and I'm like, yeah, they know. We just want to see more of those two together. We just want to see more Grogu. And it was cool that they showed us a little bit of him, like, kicking some butt. And they know as well to put in the catchphrases. May the Force be with you, check.
Yeah.
And this is the way,
right.
Check.
So there's two things here. Like you just mentioned, we're seeing Grogu's powers come to fruition finally, and we're going to see that realized and the effects of that, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, presumably, just based on that final shot, if that speaks to anything in the show, And the other thing is, they showed a glimpse of a bunch of Jedis fighting something.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what that was, or if that was something that we're supposed to be already familiar with, or if that's something ahead.
Right.
In, like some future installment that is in development by Disney, Lucasfilm.
I thought it was also cool that like last season, I think it was all about getting Grogu to become a Jedi, right? And to start his training. And then now it's like, no, son, you're going to learn the way.
Right.
You're a Mandalorian now.
Right. And then
Yeah.
it begs the question of whose helmet that was in the trailer that he picks up, that Mando picks up. Like, who does that? Is that just a relic that he found, that he came across? Or does that belong to someone that is connected to him somehow? But I'm very, very curious about this moment with the Jedi, coming up to the door that's being broken open. Like, who's it being broken open by? Is it being broken open by, like, Sith? By, Mandos? Like, who's coming in to have combat with them? It's just got me super curious. And it's especially complicated if it is, like, Mandos against Jedi. Because then, because he's raising a Jedi, like that would be extra complicated for him. But like, I'm speaking out of my ass. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure some of you guys watching have a better clue as to what more than I do.
I'm not so like up on the lore, but don't you have to train to be a Jedi just because Grogu has an affinity with the Force and is able to control the Force? Like, he left, so he's no longer a Jedi in training.
But you wouldn't know that unless you watched Boba Fett.
That's right.
So strange. But I guess we'll get more of that at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having another Boba Fett season that was more focused on just Boba Fett and having a better, more well-rounded story for him.
Sure.
As opposed to just like kind of hanging out and not really having much for him to do.
It did kind of feel like Disney Plus and Star Wars did Boba Fett dirty by not giving him like his own proper show. Because I guess the fact that they teased it at the end of The Mandalorian season 2 was enough to kind of say, this is kind of a continuation of The Mandalorian, but we're focused on Boba Fett's story. But they could have just made it like a proper good Boba Fett show. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it was supposed to be like low budget, so that it was just a filler to keep us,
satisfied
over until the new Mando show.
I hope it's at least as good story-wise as Andor, because we know that they're capable of making great stories. I mean, the previous Mandalorian seasons were also evidence of that, but
it's two totally different tones, though.
I know, but I just want it to keep going strong, Like recently with some of the shows, they felt a little just subpar or like not as great.
Not great.
Not hitting the mark. And so with this one, I'm like, please be at least as good as you have been,
I don't feel like it's good. Even though they're both Star Wars universe things, I don't think you can compare Mandalorian to Andor at all. It's just a different feeling entirely.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just like, I want to feel that we're getting great Star Wars content, continuing on with that. I mean, the first season of Mandalorian really just kind of set the tone.
Yeah, sure. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know your feelings in the comments below. How do you think this is shaping up to be so far? Subscribe, bell icon, all notifications, vote this up, please. I'm Javi Kuwait. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.